I'm the Doctor. I've lived for over 2,000 years, and not all of them were good. I've made many mistakes, and it's about time that I did something about that.
Then what are you waiting for? Let's go.
Help me, Doctor.
Draw your sword and prove your words.
I don't need a sword, because I am the Doctor. And this is my spoon. I will do something amazing. The bone rush!
Doctor, it's working!
Now we're getting somewhere. Who are you? I am the man that stops the monsters. All of time and all of space, sitting out there. Let's see what we're made of. You and I.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jenna Coleman.
Morning.
Good morning. Thank you for coming. Stephen Moffat. And Michelle Gomez. You guys, thank you very much for coming. As I said, 16 surgeries. You guys filled this room very, very quickly, I might add. We're going to go straight to questions. I'm not going to waste any time, but I'm told that the first question is from, do we have the first question?
Hi there, we hear that Peter Capaldi is a really nice guy. Is that true? What is he like to work with?
Well, he's rubbish at disguising his voice.
Hello, 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 hello. I get my own.
Can we get, here we go. We have a chair for you, Peter.
Good morning.
What a surprise. Were you in the neighborhood? What happened?
My daughter's got a ticket, so I had to deal with that.
There was some of that going around yesterday. There were some tickets. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get straight to the floor. How about dealer's choice? Would you guys like to pick the questions?
What you mean, pick the question? You mean pick the individuals?
You pick who you'd like to hear from.
This lady. Oh, Clara from Orient Express.
Hello. Oh, that's me. I want to say hi to all you guys. Jen, it's nice to see you since Indiana.
Thank you.
So I have a silly question. It's for all of you. I don't know if you've seen the show Lip Sync Battle, where all these celebrities come on and they put on this huge production of all these songs that they lip sync to, but they're not actually singing to. If you guys were to lip sync to any song and put on the whole like rock star production, what would it be?
As a band?
No, like
or individually?
Individually.
The Dream Boys.
You know, I have to be honest, I don't understand the question. What do we have to do
if you could be a part of a stage production of a song, but you don't have to sing, you just have to move your lips to the song whilst it plays.
Would it be, hey, Missy, you're so fine? Hey, Missy?
Missy is the English version of Hey, Mickey. That's right.
You mean that we could all do together? Is that
Sure, cast that one.
What's a three-piece band? Or four-piece? Do you want to be in the band?
The Beatles?
I think I'm invited, but I'm not a very good singer. I don't know. We're really, really not zinging you with this
Totally
one,
stumped us.
We actually only... I'm going to sing the Missy one as well, because I don't know any other songs.
Another Girl, Another Planet? That one?
Good call.
Yeah.
Come on, Jenna.
Do I have
Jenna,
to sing
do you
it? Do I have to sing it? No.
Maybe later. Jenna, do you have one?
Not really. Although we do often pretend we're on stars in. Do you have stars in your eyes over here? Anyone remember stars in your eyes?
I don't think.
Oh, anyway, it's a similar show in the UK, and we often pretend that we are entering the TARDIS as stars in your eyes. Google it.
Oh,
wait.
enough of this playful banter.
Pick another question. Who's got another one?
Gentleman with the beard. Well, there's lots of those, but...
Good morning.
Morning.
My question is about the BBC. With the explosion of popularity of Doctor Who since it came back in the air, I was wondering how has that affected how BBC treats the show? If you get more notes, less notes, more money, any extra help, or are there more cooks in the stirring the pot, so to speak, or are there less and they're just kind of hands off and letting you do your own?
Well, it's hardly affected the catering at all. The BBC, it has to be said, is incredibly supportive of Doctor Who, and always have been since it came back. Maybe not back in the day, but the BBC is passionately supportive of Doctor Who. We couldn't really ask for more support than we get. I could ask for more money, but then we don't really have any in Britain. We lost it all of it. We just lost the money, so we just been pretending for a while. The BBC is also, as you probably know, or maybe you don't know, under considerable threat at the moment, and which is a tragedy for all broadcasting everywhere, because it is the most amazing broadcaster there has ever been, and everything in the world will be slightly less good if it is damaged, and they're having to make cutbacks because of, well, the government and their shit. Support your local BBC. And by the way, if your question was about notes, the more successful your show is, he said with two of them, the more notes you get because the more important they are. I remember once Ben Stevenson, who was head of drama at the time, sent me a set of notes about the 50th. And he always numbers his notes just in case you're not getting the point. And there were, amusingly enough, 50 notes. Wasn't that great? 48 of which were really good, which was depressing. So, yeah, but no, the BBC is wonderful for Doctor Who and wonderful the whole world of entertainment and broadcasting in general.
Here, here.
Who's got our next question? Dealer's choice. Who would you like to hear from?
You.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My question is, have you ever wanted to film on a location and were not allowed to, no matter how much you wanted to go there?
I'm trying to remember. Most times you get to shoot where you want if you say Doctor Who. Doctor Who's pretty good. I mean, we've even been to the Tower of London, so it's quite difficult. I mean, I can't recall it. The reality is, we make most of the show in Wales and pretend it's lots of exotic planets, which is, sometimes an effort of the imagination for you. But generally speaking, I'm trying to think, have we ever been turned down? Can you recall? You never know where we are. You just get out the car, don't you?
It's true.
So I think, generally speaking, they're very good to us. The whole country, the whole world.
Next question. Where are you having? Somewhere at the back. Let's get this. What are you holding in your hand? Of course you are.
Yes. Extra points. You're losing points, though, for standing up in front of Peter Capaldi in that outfit.
I cannot compare myself to him, so yeah. Hello, Captain.
Superlative recovery. Superlative.
So it's a question for all the panel. How would you describe the Doctor, and why do you think we need more heroes like him?
I think he's for an alien, I think he's pretty human. You know, he has a lot of flaws, but he basically he's on the side of good, and he wants to protect people and protect the weak.
Another one? Jenna, your choice.
I know, I keep forgetting we have to pick the people.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
With the red bow. We all keep sitting here staring, don't we?
Well, it's all very comfortable, though. It's very nice.
Hello.
Hello. Of the episodes each of you has filmed, which ones are your personal favorites that really stood out to you?
Well, that's really difficult to say. I mean, I have to say I've just been really excited to do every episode that I've been in, because I still look around and I'm amazed that I'm Doctor Who, and that I'm on the TARDIS, and that there are Daleks and Zygons and all these creatures around. But every single episode has something very particular and individual to it that always makes it exciting. I mean, I loved going into the Dalek. I loved meeting the Master. In his new form. I loved Listen. I loved the idea of seeing what the Doctor got up to when he wasn't having an adventure. And I think that was an episode that really as well set the tone for the relationship between Clara and the Doctor, and her understanding of him. There's so many wonderful episodes. I don't like to pick on one.
I'd say Listen as well. And also still the snowman for me. Just the spiral staircase sequence and the TARDIS on the clouds remains a favourite. And things like where we had a lot of, like Robin Hood was such a fun place to film, and being outside, like that was kind of a really good experience. But probably from last series, Listen, I'd say.
Oh God, I just feel traitorous if I say anything. Ones that I thought that worked particularly well were Vincent and the Doctor. I adored that one. I liked, what else did I like? I mean, I hated writing it more than writing itself, but Day of the Doctor obviously worked out. I loved Listen as well, actually. I thought that was great. I also loved Robin Hood. I adored watching that episode. I just kept, when I was watching it the first time, I kept just rewinding it and watching bits again. I thought it was so much fun. I know it's sometimes be a controversial one, but I loved In the Forest of the Night, which I know not necessarily everyone went for, but I thought was lyrical, and if you didn't like it, really worth a second look at it, because there's some extraordinary dialogue from Frank Cottrell Boyce in it. So there are loads of them, but again, I'm stuck with the fact that whatever we're doing at the time, I think is the best one ever. That's why I honestly believe every time we go to the read-through, I think, well, that's it. We've cracked it this time. So I mean, and we're shooting one at the moment. I think this must be the best one ever, and I'm writing one, or I've just finished writing one, which I'm hoping will be the best one ever. So I'm always just hoping it'll be the next one. Which of your vast range of episodes have you preferred?
Well, not to sound like too much of a narcissist, but probably the ones that I'm in. I know that makes me sound like a bit of a twat, but because I am, but only because I still can't, believe that I'm in it. And the very first day that I stepped on set and met these guys, and my heart was racing so much and I could hardly speak, and then I had to do all that Missy stuff, and then kiss/suck the Doctor's nose, so but the same goes for the same goes as what these guys said. I grew up with this show, and I'm a massive fan of the show, and it's there's just something in every single episode that makes it really touching and heartwarming and sad and funny and dangerous, and just that every single episode is just encapsulated one big adventure, and it's a joy, and I'm still terribly grateful. Please keep me. You never thought you'd see Missy groveling.
Who'd like to pick the next question?
The person with the horns. Horn person. Do you know, you sitting there, I thought this lady had the horns for ages. And then they had independent motion, and I thought, that is fucking scary.
I'm on the screen. I was wondering if you're ever gonna bring the Doctor's daughter back in an episode. Jenny.
Jenny, played by Georgia, married to David Tennant, daughter of Peter Davison, whose real name is Moffat. Yeah, that one. Yeah, okay. It's just too confusing at Sunday lunch, I can tell you. Well, if I had a plan, I wouldn't tell you. What I would say if I had a plan is we no plans as yet. But if I didn't have a plan, I'd also say no plans as yet. So, you know, I don't really tell the truth. It's not even necessary to lie anymore. It's just more creative, isn't it? I mean, anyone can tell the truth. Making it up takes effort. So there you go. Have you actually taken up evil laughing? I mean, it's...
Next question.
Gentleman here? Yeah.
Hello. Hi. Hello. The sonic screwdriver is sort of the Doctor's iconic tool / weapon sometimes. While you're on set, do you guys ever play with it? And do you have a funny moment where, you know, you've caught someone trying to open something?
I want to know too. Did you ever forget and take it home? Ooh.
Well, you know, it's a prop. It doesn't do that stuff. I'm sorry to disappoint you. I've got to have a word with you about Daleks as well. But it's a very handsome-looking prop, much heavier than the toy ones, and with very rough metal edges that, if you're not careful, would slice your thumb open. And also it rips up the inside of your inside pocket. So it's not a prop that people throw around or have fun with. It has to be taken great care of. And also, my very first day with the sonic screwdriver, I actually was really looking forward to the moment when you get to go like that. And I went, obviously not with the noise, but did that.
It took a while to stop him making the noise.
Yeah. But I did that, and the end came flying off. And some bumbling props guy had to come along and moaned at me and said, "Oh, I've got to go and find it." And he had to go in the bushes.
Somehow this has turned into a health and safety work complaint.
So basically, my first day with the sonic screwdriver, I was then told not to go like that with it. So so I have to tell guests who come on the set, please handle with care.
It did fall right down your jacket as well, didn't it? Did you get a hole in your jacket?
Yes, it cut.
And then...
it sort of created a hole in my jacket, and it fell in the lining. So suddenly, it'd go. A monster would be coming in and go. All that would go on. But we didn't use those bits.
On that subject, I remember they first brought the toy version to the set, and I was looking at it saying, this is brilliant. This is a toy version that can do all the different things as opposed to the 3 different screwdrivers we have. And I said, how come we can't make a screwdriver like the toy? And the art department looked at me and said, we don't have their budget. That's why. So when you buy a toy one, understand you've got a better one than Doctor Who. And it makes the noise.
This hand at the back here. That you're right there with the glasses. Yeah, that's you. Yeah.
My question is for Michelle, actually. You're playing one of the most ever-enduring characters of Doctor Who. What do you want to maintain from previous incarnations, and what do you want to bring to the new character?
A kind of fresh wickedness, to try and make evil seem like a good idea. And also to try and not just be, you know, like the pantomime villain, you know, to try and be as, like, rounded as a person as I could make her as a character could be. Because I have actually made quite a career in playing 2-dimensional characters. And I'm not known for my subtlety, and it's got something to do with this jawline and this, which is quite masculine. And people call me, you know, a handsome beauty. And so I was bringing my handsome beauty to this and attempting to fill the shoes of many masters that have gone before and done it brilliantly. But I really wanted to, and I think obviously it's in the script, and you know, they're wonderful scripts, but what she says at the end of series 8 is that, you know, I miss my friend. And it's like a friendship that's got, like the greatest friendship in the universe that's just gone wrong. So she's on this mission, of a sort of perverse justice to, you know, go after him for all of space and time, for eternity. A bit like your wife, or a bit like a bad marriage where it's like, no, you're wrong, and I'm right, and so she's sort of filled with this wealth of self-righteous indignation most of the time, just trying to make sure that he knows that he's completely wrong, that because he does what I do. He kills a lot of people and feels really bad about it. I don't.
Thank you.
Another question.
There's a lot of literary themes in different episodes, and I'm wondering if each of you could tell us what your favorite fairy tale is.
I enjoy Rumpelstiltskin. Because in the original version of Rumpelstiltskin, or the original version I read, which was the Grimm's Fairy Tale 1, when they eventually found Rumpelstiltskin, he was so furious that he'd been discovered that he stamped his foot on the ground with so much power that his foot went into the ground right up to his waist. And his fury was so great that he grabbed his other leg and tore himself asunder. I was a lovely kid, as you can imagine. That was a Scottish bedtime story.
Are you sure that's the original, or did your parents just hate you? Fairy tales. I'm not very good on fairy tales, actually. I never remember any. The book, the story that I most often, and you'll see this in everything I've ever written, if you know this book, it's not a fairy tale, called Tom's Midnight Garden. I found intolerably moving and fascinating when I was a kid, and I still do. I love that book, and I've been remaking it ever since. Philippa Pierce, you'd sue me. No, but it's not a fairy tale. Sorry, I can't really think of any fairy tales, and I'm too disturbed by what Peter said. How does he think Goldilocks ends? Torn asunder by 3 bears.
I think it does, actually.
I would love to hear your bedtime stories. And then Snow White imploded.
I'm going to do an album.
Jenna, fairy tale.
I just needed to leave a little break after that one. Because I thought I can't follow that up with The Little Mermaid.
Mind you, she does die in the original, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah, especially in Peter's.
dark.
In Peter's, she
And
actually
it's
gets
Christine
eaten.
Anderson.
But
Yeah, I always wanted to be a mermaid. And still do.
Tropical waters or cold?
Tropical.
Man, right?
Oh, I don't know. I'm sort of weird. I'm not very good with fairy tales for obvious reasons. I'm more a fan of grim tales, where there's trolls and stuff under bridges, and you're trying to cross the bridge, and the trolls come out and.
Sounds like a nightmare.
And the trolls come out and they're trying to, you know, stop you getting across the bridge. A bit like when the frog jumps upon the... Somebody just jump in any time. A bit like when the frog jumps upon the scorpion, and the scorpion's going... This isn't a fairy tale. And the scorpion's going across the river, and the scorpion says, "Why don't you jump on my back? I'll bring you across the river." And the frog says, "No, no, no, because you'll stop me anytime. No, because you're gonna hurt me. You're gonna no. So anyway, this silly old frog, a bit like the Doctor, jumps upon the scorpion's back. And I don't know if scorpions can swim, but they're swimming across the river. And then the scorpion bites the frog, and the frog says, "Why'd you do that?" And the scorpion says, "Because I'm a scorpion."
Another question?
Well, that's quite like the Master, actually, because
Yes,
because in the version I heard, the Scorpion says, "It's my nature." Oh.
What do you mean, oh?
Rewrites.
The end.
Eat this, the severed leg of Rumpelstiltskin.
Eat it.
Oh, so we're choosing somebody? We're choosing
This lady here with the arm, yeah.
Well, thank you for narrowing it down, Peter.
Hi. Now that we've seen the Master regenerated as a woman, can we hope to see a lady doctor in the future?
No one's ever asked that before. Literally, we're not prepped for this answer because it's never come up. As I said on the panel, I think my answer is very clear in the show. Very, very clear in the show, and that's the only place it matters. Nothing good will ever befall Doctor Who unless you always cast the best person for the role at the time, whoever he or she is. That's it. But it's very clear what I think as far as the mythology is concerned. You can see it. It's on the show. It's potentially even on this panel. All right?
Thank you, but the big reveal is that this year's is that I am actually a man.
It was a surprise to me, certainly. I thought we tried.
Right there, that I'm shooting a finger into your... no, the one pointing at there.
Hi. In your everyday lives, what movies do you quote from the most?
Good question.
The Princess Bride.
Is that true?
My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. It doesn't come up as appropriate that often. But, you know, yeah, no, I love that film. It's my favourite film. My favourite film. Oh, is it your favourite film too? Well, you were right.
Shall I? Blade Runner?
Home again, jiggity jig.
Peter?
I quote a lot from a film at which I was very. I had a very tiny part in, which is not why I quote from it. But I was very lucky to be had a tiny part in the film of Dangerous Liaisons, in which John Malkovich plays the evil Viscount Valmont, and he has a great line where he says. I have no illusions, I lost them on my travels. You can see what kind of a cheerful guy I am. And then we'll finish that off with a fairy tale with lots of blood and gore. And Jenna.
No, I've been quoting a lot from The Comeback recently, just to lighten it up. Just cringe-inducing statements on set to take the piss of things like, am I being heard? Or hello.
Can I add Mark Gatiss, because I like it, I think it's My Own Private Idaho. Mark Gatiss, whenever he and I are taking ourselves off somewhere having fun, he says, and spending too much or whatever we're doing, he always says, whatever it takes to make my day a little bit better. Which I think is quite good.
Very nice. Another question?
I keep quoting from Midnight Run at the moment. Only in America.
Oh.
Here we go there. In the
half
front.
cream.
Hi, I just want to ask Peter, you've got a little bit of experience in directing, just a little bit with the Oscar and stuff. I really love getting on as a nurse in the NHS. Thank you so much for that. I think everybody in management should be made to watch that show. It would save them millions. It's almost as realistic as Green Wing. But what I wanted to ask is, as a director, have you any desire to direct an episode of Doctor Who? Would Stephen let you?
I don't know whether he'd let me or not, but I don't really. I absolutely love playing the Doctor, and I also see the task that the directors on Doctor Who have is such a challenging, an immense one. You know, the reason Doctor Who looks the way it is. The reason that it's so good is because of the extra effort that all of the people who work on the show put in. And what they're asked to do on a day-to-day basis is, you know, it's like director's boot camp. I mean, they're asked to deliver massive scenes with lots of monsters and explosions and gags and tragedy and comedy. And I am just really happy to be playing the Doctor and not to have all of those problems, you know. And I think they do it so beautifully, and I just admire them so much for doing it. But no, I mean, I have enjoyed directing, but I think I just liked directing as a kind of, I was just exploring that whole artistic seam, you know, rather than saying, I want to be a director, because that's a whole different ballgame when you take it on as a profession. But I just liked having a go at it. But Doctor Who is too technically challenging. You have to really know your stuff. And we're working with a director just now called Rachel Talle, who did the finale last year. And the skill that I watch her every day deploying is so remarkable and so admirable. And its experience and its craft and its talent and a way with people that I don't have.
He does have a CV good enough to do Doctor Who, no question, absolutely. And if you imagine I go around disallowing Peter Capaldi from doing things, you understand very little of the ecology of television. But I would always have the question: how the hell can you do both those roles? Because we work the actor playing the Doctor into the ground. We do. I mean, it's insane. It's unfeasible, and we work the directors into the ground. I'm not sure. Short of coming out of the episode to direct it instead of being in it, and maybe missing another couple while you're in prep and when you post, it would be very, very hard. But yeah, yes, he's good enough, and yes, he understands the show well enough. So yes, it's not me disallowing anything. All right. Disallowing.
Very nice. Who'd like to pick the next question? I'll do it. Ready?
Oh, sorry. Oh, God.
I'm going to do it. I'm right here.
You're rubbish.
Right here.
Yeah.
For Stephen, when you go to writing a season, how many ideas do you go through before you find the ones that you stick? How many do you discard, saying this is just crap, before you decide what makes an episode?
God knows how many. I mean, an infinite number. It just, people say, where'd you get the ideas from? I say, by knowing which 99% of your ideas are rubbish. You know, because most of the ideas you have are terrible. I mean, I think of an idea, I think, oh, that's awful. And that's the process. So very, very rarely, very, very occasionally, you have a good idea. And people say, do you write it down? And I say, I don't have enough good ideas to need an aid memoir. You know, I will remember a good idea. I'll remember where I was standing, and I'll go home and tell my wife about it. I think, I had an idea today. It was good. Remember that happened 2 years ago? Yeah, I mean, so, yeah. But loads, just extraordinary number. It's what you don't write. It's what you don't write that makes a script good. It's what the stuff you throw away.
Next question. Jenna, your choice.
This guy.
Hi. So the Doctor and the companion always seem to leave a lasting impression on each other. I'm curious to know what you think Clara's impression will be on the current Doctor.
I don't really think that's for me to answer. I suppose she's been around a long time. she's been through a lot of different Doctors' incarnations. Yeah.
I think she has taught him to know himself and to understand, to try and understand human beings in a more generous way. I think she brings him an understanding of love and compassion, of the depth of the human soul, and in the form of Jenna, she's brought me immense comfort and happiness, and made my first season as Doctor Who unforgettable as an acting experience, because she's such a class act. She's a star and an incredible person. Yeah, she's fabulous.
Aww.
I didn't cue that.
You guys, again, thank you so much for being here. We're out of time, I'm afraid. But thank you very much, you guys. Wonderful Doctor Who.